Oh, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Justice's waiting room. Aiding room? Jared, come on. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics, and I'm letting you know right now, today's going to be one of those days where you're like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Obviously, high as giraffe pussy, but also overslept. Don't normally make that happen. I am not an oversleeper. I got an internal clock. That shit breaks at 6 a.m. The dogs are usually standing on top of my person at 6 a.m. to go outside. And today I got up, got dressed, dogs were still asleep. It's daylight savings time's fucking with every everything. And animals are just like, what the fuck? Why isn't the sun up? So, good morning, Danielle Debs. My wife will check in eventually. Hope you had a great Monday night. Um, there's very little that makes my wife and I just giggle like school children, and one of those things happened last night. So, for those of you that didn't know, we're big football fans in this house. And last night, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys, and if you know anything about the NFL, you just gotta kind of come out and say it. Fuck Jerry Jones. Yeah. hmm No. Yeah, it goes without saying. Yeah, woohoo, go Cardinals. Yes. Um, Jerry Jones has been a thorn in the side of what could be the greatest professional sports league. Should have long since stepped beside Jerry Jones himself. Exemplifies everything that is wrong with this country. America's team should not be shite. It is, as somebody who grew up watching this goddamn game from before it mattered. Yep, the biggest failure of my goddamn lifetime is that the Dallas motherfucking Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl in 25 fucking years. You ain't America's team. Pick a new one. Somebody that wins. Somebody that actually makes it to the fucking Super Bowl. I'm an Indianapolis Colts fan. At least I can say my football team has been to the Super Bowl in the last 20 fucking years and won. Every morning we listen to Edwin Starr's War to start the show. What is it good for? Today is election day. Now, let's uh, let's talk a little about election day here in the United States. New York and New Jersey, right, are the two primary focal points today. Zoran Mamdani. Um, let's see who else is running that we're rooting for. Now, understand, I'm not a card carrying Democrat, so you gotta understand. I don't do that shit. Okay, but All right. Draft UN resolution would grant U.S. and partners 2-year mandate to govern Gaza. Resolution slated for debate in Security Council aims to see first troops in International Stabilization Force who will coordinate with Egypt and Israel deployed in Strip by January. This means putting American troops. Mickey Mickey Sherrill. I didn't want to. She was 52-47. Oh yeah, that's a 5-point game. That's not close. When races are 51-49, we can talk. Um, Zoran Mamdani is gonna get a million votes in New York, and Mickey Sherrill's up 5 points. Like these ain't elections. These are slaughters. As we drift again towards being a uniparty, this is what happens. And what do you think happens when the Democrats are back in power and they still got the same fucking Supreme Court? What's gonna change? You think the conservative Supreme Court's just gonna fucking roll over? You're lucky if a Democrat takes a seat in the House ever again. Somebody's got to beat the shit out of Mike Johnson. Just he needs a black eye and a bloody nose and a fucking reminder. This is the goddamn democracy, and if you don't want to play by the fucking rules, this is. But I don't live in Louisiana, Washington D.C. I can't do it. Too far away. I lack the proximity. But yeah, black eye, bloody lip. That's what territory we're in. Yeah, I shared an article. Times of Israel, a draft UN resolution would have U.S. forces working in Gaza with Egypt and Israel. I mean, it's almost like I am prophetic. The whole point of this genocide in Gaza is to settle the strip. And Donald Trump and Leonardo DiCaprio are two parties that have claim to Gaza. You can't do that without protection. So what's going to have to happen first? Ding, ding, ding. U.S. military base on the Gaza Strip. As I've... Oh, what? I've been saying this. This should not be news to anyone. This is not hooey to anyone. I've been saying this the whole time. That article just gives me credibility because I've been saying that was 100% going to happen the whole time. Iron Dome. Remember this. I don't think it's a good idea. It's a terrible idea. Can you imagine golfing and just getting blown in the fuck up? No? Exactly. Golf sucks. Why make it worse? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be playing a whatever the YV Cup is or whatever. I don't watch golf because I'm not a pussy. That's what it really comes down to. Uh, yeah, there's very little manly about wearing white gloves. You know what I'm saying? The jokes. If you can't take jokes, gonna be a rough one for you. Morning, Bob. What happened to Eve? Yeah, I didn't like that. Uh oh, what happened to Eve? I don't know. Yeah, it says hidden. I don't know why people would do that. I don't like when people delete their messages. It's silly. But it's whatever. I'm not gonna. Explosions rock Russian ammunition depot, oil refineries, petrochemical plant amid mass Ukrainian drone strike. Hell yeah, baby. Let's go. Got hidden by accident? Alright, geniuses, which one of you did it? Unhide her. There, I unhid her. European Union's trying to forge new climate targets before the COP30 summit in Brazil starts next week. Hmm. Sorry, Miss Evelyn. The power of Thor. That's what happens when you give everybody managerial duty. Everybody starts to manage. Ukrainian drones strike industrial facility in Russia's Bashkortostan. That sounds like a fucking country. You ain't say nothing. It was an accident, Evelyn. No worries. I didn't hide you, but I unhid you. You're all good. Besides, when you comment and you're hidden, it just says message hidden, and then you just click it, and I don't know, it's silly. Check this out. In Australia, they're getting 3 hours of free electricity a day. Hey, I want to make sure that we add electricity for all to our platform. See, the problem that I see is all these countries are heavily focused on renewable energy. But is it renewable energy for all? Because if it's just harnessing the power of the sun, how the fuck are you going to sell the power of the sun to people? Just give it away, right? You just give it away instead of charge for that. And you know they're going to charge for that. Norway's mega wealth fund to reject Elon Musk's $1 trillion Tesla pay package. Never trust a man who can't grow a beard. Look at this shit. He's so obsessed with what's going on top of his head, he can't grow a fucking beard like a normal person. Look at that shit. Yeah, looks like shit. He looks like shit. What an ugly motherfucker, bro. Talking about you. Yo, check it out. EU leaders are skipping the Latin American summit to avoid pissing off Donald Trump. Yeah, I can foresee people going fucking becoming homeless because of the cost of electricity because all these wealthy people literally stick their goddamn nose in everything and ruin it and make it more expensive for us and push people out of their homes. AES, I'm talking to you. So make your own power. Make your own power. Make enough power to power your neighbors. Yep. Hmm. Follow all the laws and rules and contribute to the grid and shit and stop paying that goddamn bill. Think about this. Somebody told me on the phone that they thought they could get whole home solar under 10K. And I was like, nah, it's expensive. And they were like, no, 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 I've already done it. 20 years ago, it was 60K. And I'm immediately listening because they've already done it and I haven't. And I was like, oh, really? And they were like, yeah, uh, 15 years ago, it was probably 40K. 10 years ago, it was probably 30K. 5 years ago, it was probably 20K. And now, like, you could easily solar power your house for $7,000 to $10,000. Hmm? Well, if you're paying a $500 fucking electric bill right now, that's less than 2 years. It'd take you less than 2 years to become profitable on your solar panel. And in finance, when something becomes profitable, quick, fast, in a fucking hurry, oh, you do that. Solar. Not buy up all the electric companies and charge everybody an arm and a leg for power. Hmm. And you know what fucking sucks? As I've got older, blackouts have begotten more common, have gotten more common. So why the fuck would I want to pay more for shit that works less often? I'll just get solar. Hmm. In the future, we will have hats with solar panels, backpacks with solar panels. When you sit out and read, you'll be wearing like a solar suit that's like connected to a battery so that you can sit, charge the battery while you power your device. Hmm? And a fan and shit blows on you and shit. Yup. And when it's gonna storm, you'll know that you want to have your battery on full charge because it's gonna storm for a couple of days. You won't be without it. Hmm. That's the Republican moderate Dems way. Pay more for less. Yeah. We need radical fucking change in the United States. ASAP. Uh I was listening to somebody talk to and with Zoran Mamdani, and they said affordable housing, right? That's the path forward. Like making the world a more fair place. That democratic socialism, like, it's still upholding capitalism. And that's why I don't call myself a democratic socialist. That's why I'm not a DSA member. Okay? Honey, where's my solar suit? An Incredibles fans? Fuck yeah, I love Incredibles. It's a great movie. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said Monday Syrian refugees in Germany must go home now that their country's war is over or face deportation. And see, this is where white people keep fucking it up. These large countries have grown without pause for hundreds of years and polluted and caused all of this climate change and war and famine. It's all man made, it's all our fault. So when someone immigrates to your country for any reason, because there's war in theirs, because there's Tortuga, by the way, in 2025, Tortuga, an entire island of people, had to immigrate elsewhere because their home was destroyed. Would you kick them out of your home? I didn't think so. And there's a reason why. Mhm. I'm the greatest good you're ever gonna get. Yeah, right. So yeah, when you start kicking people out of your country that fled to your country, there's just no reason to do that. It's unimaginably cruel. What if they fell in love and got married and bought a house? Do they have to leave? See, do you see how it's a slippery slope? Man, I wouldn't want to be the person making that comment. Well, I mean, the thing about it is, if we don't establish a workers' party. The Republican Party is going to split into the Republicans, which are like truly conservative people that are just dumb as a box of rocks and don't deserve any bit of leadership. And then there will be the America First Party, which is just going to be the rich technocrat fascists, and they're just going to continue to push their agenda. Which, remember, is wildly fucking unpopular, and the only way they're able to win elections is by cheating. hmm Texas summers are brutal. Yeah. Interesting. What dumb laws? Iranians are commemorating the anniversary of the 1979 U.S. Embassy takeover at a time of tension. It's kind of an odd time. It's spring 2.0 in Missouri. Yeah. Yesterday it was in the 60s and sunny in November in Indiana. I always think it's hilarious. People are like, "Oh, I couldn't live in Indiana." And it's like we haven't had a noticeable winter in like a decade. It's basically 60 to 100 degrees here year round. And like the older I get, the warmer it gets because of climate change. And the thing about that is, as someone who has traveled my whole life and been in multiple cities over the course of time, all the cities have gotten hotter and drier. I don't know what everyone's talking about. Every place that I go is seasonably warm because it's warm. Like in Texas, you can't own more than 6 or 7 dildos. I Is that like a 6-7 bit that I just walked into? Am I also supposed to do this? Anyway, so UK confirms transfer of all AS-90 howitzers to Ukraine. Oorah semper fi, all that happy shit. Oh, my dogs are messed up too, Kara. We slept in until 11 until 7 a.m. this morning. I was telling the dogs we'll go on a walk afterward. I ain't trying to be all hot and sweaty when I sit down for the show. Dina said, "Guess I won't be moving to Texas." I love y'all's sense of humor. Who the fuck is counting dildos anyway? Better put gloves on. Sharing for internet person. Tanzanian opposition claims security forces are secretly dumping bodies after election violence. Bob asked, "But what do you do with the eighth?" Facebook Marketplace. What are you talking about? Hey, look, as someone who has jumped out of airplanes and walked long distances, run long distances, lifted heavy objects, when death due to it's the fucking Himalayas is possible, you should you should not want to go. You should not do that. You should try to do it when the weather's normal. 7 climbers just died in the Himalayas because they're fucking idiots. Again, it's the same as golf. People who hike, pussies. Mm-hmm. Yep. Pick a fucking real sport. I'm being an asshole and sarcastic. It's hilarious to me. I don't care. Roughly used. Yep. There's two kinds of people I don't like: golfers and climbers. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's not a fucking sport. It's like people got into parkour. Now, Red Bull latched on to parkour, so it's hard to fucking argue with that not being a sport. And the fact that it birthed professional tag as a sport, I'm actually in. I'm actually in. Yeah, rock climbers are different, though. I'm just talking about fucking hikers. You know what I mean? Oh, let's go climb K2, and then there's just a trail of bodies, and it's like, no, fuck all of you. Yeah, no. And again, I think golf courses should just be public housing. All of them. Hmm. People should just defend themselves with golf clubs. Hmm. And use. Never mind. I would go to prison for that. I was going to say, if you just cut a golf ball in half, core it, fill it. Not really, because then you couldn't hit it with a golf club, it would blow up. Let's try not to be stupid. And golf balls aren't very good to throw. Swift movement, continued motion, yeah. I like parkour, I just don't think it's a sport. You know what I mean? And there's a bug on my face. Russian preschool children learn military training, hand to hand combat, and firearms handling. In case you wondered what is in store for Russian children in pre K. Starting them fucking young. You should probably share the show. Not again! Right. Well, we've never had a bug problem before, and I think, again, it probably has to do with climate change, but it's gotten cooler, and we have little tsetse flies. And the thing is, it's not like they're in the kitchen where there's food. You know what I mean? It's not because we're slobs. It's just because it's a season change and the bugs are coming indoors. Morning. Have a fantastic Taco Tuesday. Just sharing the show real quick. No, it's not fruit. We are only fruit in the house are frozen blueberries in the freezer for morning shake. Hashtag JWR. That's us. Twitch, YouTube, Free Palestine. Slava Ukraine. If you follow me at likelyalien.bluesky.social, you can follow me on Twitter also likely alien, and Facebook, although on Facebook I'm just Jared. And we've talked about it. I don't post there. I don't have those things on my phone. Just post a link to the show. And it's awful, by the way. God. As somebody who went to school for social media, man, social media is bad. Cold snap drove the ants inside you. I was told to U.S. Defense Secretary says they will actively support South Korea's submarine acquisition. Again, we've talked about this before, and I'm gonna keep fucking posting it because it's fucking gross. Shein is accused of selling childlike sex dolls in France. Morning, Keisha. Morning, everybody. Hell yeah. Xi Jinping cracks jokes about spying with phones given to South Korean president. Somebody said they start their indoor plants, we get gnats, so vinegar, water, dish soap, traps. Really? So if I just put out a little lid with vinegar, water, and dish soap, it'll attract, and the little gnats will die in that dish vinegar dish soap, huh? I was thinking about it, like it's obnoxious. At least 36,000 Sudanese have fled since the fall of El Fasher to RSF, says a UN agency. I think I'm just gonna stream myself playing video games all day and tell everybody to go vote. Peru is stupid as fuck. Boycott UAE. um, you see that motherfucker just flew and landed on my goddamn nose? Oh, I hate it. I hate it. 6. I wish. Battlefield 7. Oh my god. I haven't even thought about that yet. What do you mean Battlefield 7? I haven't even like done anything in 6. Jesus, Squint. And to think, I was just like catching them out of the air and shit. Ah, 8 millimeter. Have any of you guys ever seen the movie 8 millimeter? You blew my mind, man. I was like, wait, what? Battlefield 7? Oh my god, it's already here? I'm wrapping small arms. Yo, Battlefield 6 is tits. Uh, I try to be useful and communicate, and my teammates don't do that shit, and it's fucking obnoxious. So, I'm in search of best friends in Battlefield 6. I will follow you around and resupply you and res you when you die. Or play sniper and spot everyone for us. Or I'll fix your tank or your vehicle while you drive. I'll be your gunner and your helo. What the fuck ever, dude. I'm looking for best friends in that shit. Yeah. Uh, yeah. They have some super powerful vehicles. If you know anything about the military, like when it comes to like weapons and vehicles shit, stealth planes and fucking uh they have a tank that shoots a tow and has mounted guns. That's fucking insane. Um it's hard enough to get the tow into firing position without exposing your whole body. But yeah, 8 millimeter Nicolas Cage. It's a movie about revenge porn, right? And violent pornography. Basically, this investigator kept getting dropped porn where people are dying in the actual porn, and that's illegal as fuck. And so he's like investigating. It's a great fucking movie, but yeah, they're banning porn depicting strangulation in the UK. And they're limiting the number of dildos in Texas? What's going on with the world? Holy shit. You can't do anything. I'm just kidding. National Pension Service stockholding profits surge amid Kospi rally. Over the Korean offshore market surging 20% in 10 months. Hey, that's great for Korea. As someone who's spent my 20s in the Marine Corps infantry learning how to make things go boom, there aren't any bombs. They're just bomb threats. This is what Russia's been doing for eons. None. Just know it's an empty fucking threat. I'm telling you, as someone who handled fucking explosives on active duty in the Marine Corps infantry, no the fuck they don't. I can promise you, you buy 3 items over the course of years on the internet, and you're gonna meet some people. That's the kind of fucking place we live. If you go to the wrong store and buy the wrong combination of items, they will meet you in the motherfucking parking lot. What are you talking about? Yeah, no way. Okay, they're trying to chill voters. Hmm. Zero bombings at U.S. polling locations. It's all bullshit. You know what I love? I love that you can't hide. Everything that happens is all out, and you know what I mean? It's like I don't think there's a lot of secrets. Not nearly the level of secrets. You know what I mean? I don't actually think they exist. Wild words, Jared. Typhoon Kalmagi rises to 4. I don't know what that means. What if there's 50 levels? Here. Okay. But yeah, I think getting back to what I want to talk about, uh, I think I'm in the mood for some Battlefield today. But the new season of Path of Exile came out, and it's fucking delicious. As per usual, Path of Exile. There are some video games that are the best games I've ever played in my life. It's not close. Path of Exile and Once Human. I need to return to that too. So if y'all are up for some Once Human, we should stream that today. We should use today. It's election day to say, hey, vote to make it happen. Again, I'm fearful. Y'all gotta understand. I'm a math person. That's all I am. When I look at the U.S. and you're like, okay, it should be pretty evenly represented, right? Democrats and Republicans. You would think, hey man, it's going one way. Elections aren't split. I don't know what's going on. Elections aren't split anymore. They're not 50-50. And again, I don't want them to be. The Republicans are wildly fucking unpopular. Their positions are wildly fucking unpopular. I think Democrats should be winning these elections, hand over fist, and they have been. Lots of these elections, and we're not even talking about today. Between now and the 2024 U.S. election, the Democrats have overperformed in like 38 of 40 elections. Overperformed. This means they whooped ass. Like the election wasn't even fucking close. Think about the run on if that continues. Oh shit! Now the Democrats are in charge of everything. They probably become even more fucking fractured, is what really happens. And they can't actually get anything done because they have what's called a crisis of leadership. This is somebody who's done their fucking research and is like, oh, historically, when there's a reasonable party and an unreasonable party, and the reasonable party starts to run away with shit, and all of a sudden they are screaming back in power, you run into a uniparty situation where there's a crisis in leadership and they can't get anything done. Bing, bang, bong, Bob's your uncle. That's just how it fucking works. Anybody? I don't have any questions. I did my fucking research. There must be a workers' party, a pro-union party in the United States. Mm-hmm. It is almost a certainty. Think about it. Any reasonable human being right now has two possible answers when you ask, who is the face of the Democratic Party? Your possible answers, AOC, Zohran Mamdani. If you say anyone outside of those two people, you are picking an establishment Democrat. Someone who takes money from AIPAC. You want to see what the status quo looks like? Give Andrew Cuomo's power. And you'll watch a fucking nothing happen. Especially with a conservative Supreme Court. Yeah. Remember that that earthquake in Afghanistan yesterday? Death toll of 20 the next day. I don't know what that is. What is Jasmine still good? I don't even know what that means. It's fucking crazy, man. You know what? You know what's gonna end up being the deal breaker for me getting into politics is I'm gonna have to have personal fucking security everywhere I go. NATO vows to support Russia or support Ukraine until peace talks with Russia begin. Looks Hey, looks like the NATO and UN are very accepting. Dude, you trim up the goatee. No, sometimes it just lays pretty. You know what I mean? Can't grow a lick of hair on the top of my head, but beard came in all right. You know what I mean? No, if I trim my goatee, my wife will get on my ass. Like, what are you, 20 again? Like back when that fucking goatee was popular. I used to have like beard game down here. I look like fucking young Gandalf. Um, my wife and I got married and bought a house within like a 72-hour period, and I think that would cause a great deal of stress to anyone. You're saying Facebook's trash. It's haya. Born pretty, can't help it. I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people. I never had to beg for favor. You know, I was I. There's a reason that I'm able to sit in front of you now and just be myself. I don't have to like wear makeup or you know what I mean. I don't spend hours in pre-production. You know, I just throw on a baseball cap and a hoodie and make it happen, right? Um, this is because the kids that were just naturally better looking than me have no game. And of course, the people worse looking than me are going to try to develop some game and still not on my level. So again, I never had to beg for favor. My wife asked me just yesterday if I want to make out. Who does that? 400,000 people are starving in Sudan. Those are not connected thoughts. And you know what's fucking nutter butters? I don't actually know who Mickey Sherrill and Zoran Mamdani are running against. Huh. Wild. I don't even know. The dressing room's reserved for the Pentagon. Like I don't know who the Republican candidates are. That's how bad Republicans are at social media. They cannot. I am terminally online. I'm a know it all. I'm supposed to know that. You did such a fucking bad job marketing your candidate that I don't even know who it is. And I sit at a fucking computer all day. I host a show about the news. Bob said Taylor's got you in a makeup chair 45 minutes before the show. Hey, listen. 45 minutes isn't long enough to unfuck this face. Okay? That's why I stopped trimming my beard. I was like, it takes too much work. Remember, Canada and the Philippines, they signed an agreement yesterday to kind of work together. Ah, Shitterelli. Yeah. Okay, there's one. He's losing. And Donald Trump fucking backed Andrew Cuomo, which is exactly the reason not to vote for him. If Donald Trump says, "Ah, he's all right," Jesus Christ on a bike. Iran has executed 20 people in October. Hey, just so everyone knows, I am opposed to the fucking death penalty. Just like I'm opposed to violence against living people because you risk martyring them. And then there's nothing fucking worse than pew-pewing someone and then you die because you fucking pew-pewed them and they build a statue for the dude you unalived? Oh, you lost! You lost! You made him a hero! See, there's a reason, like, violence doesn't... You can smush people with, you know what I mean? You might get in a little fisticuffs, but shoot someone to death? Hell no. You risk martyring them. They could become the face of a fucking movement that kills everybody but the people that have 6 toes, and it's all your fault. Because you think it's the Wild Wild West. That's the problem. That's the problem. Don't start glazing me here, Zoran. Yeah. Okay, some people get a little bent out of shape over the word moist. For me, it's probe. Just, sorry. People get a little wild, over moist, which I think moist is like a completely normal word. It doesn't do anything for me. When I hear fucking probe, I'm like, ugh. Belgium launches a probe after third straight night of spying drones over a NATO base. I got a little tear in my eye just now. I'm gonna fly airplanes today. Trump's move on Venezuela's winners Latin America's possible strike. You know how Donald Trump's a fucking moron? Yeah, when I think of probe, when I think of the word probe, I just think of like, you know, a doctor, elbow length gloves, some jelly all over his hands, fucking giant metal fucking tube. He's squeezing the fucking plastic over, and he's putting the lube over that, and then your fucking legs are spread the fuck open, and they're, you know, seeing if they can, I don't know, touch your C4 spinal thing through your butthole. That's what probe makes me think of. And I'm just like, no, I'm off it. Actually, you could just call that an investigation. You could call it an inquiry. You know what I mean? You call that a probe? That's wild. Maybe a little unnecessary. Valencia President Carlos Mazon resigns over a botched handling of deadly floods. Wow. Spanish region's People's Party had clung to power despite calls for him to stand down. No, that's the thing about it. The probe isn't moist, it's lubricated. It's different. Lube and moisture are two different things. I'm feet coming in today, I can feel it. Yeah. Moist doesn't do anything for me. There's ameliorate. That's another thing I really like, but people don't. People are like, "What did you just say?" I like that word. Hmm. Uh, Oil companies are still real bad. Okay. Exxon funded think tanks to spread climate denial in Latin America. Yeah, where's Crush? Do you ever just read a story? You're like, what the fuck is that? Data stored in Canada can be subject to foreign courts, government paper warns. I what the fuck? It's just like it's almost like the news is written. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. The U.S. Cloud Act. I don't know. It feels like this story means something to me. It. Oh, I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure we talk about the perils of AI and how AI is bad. Okay. So I had to do a project in college where you take a company's books and you are supposed to use artificial intelligence to make their books right. Like, have the AI comb a database and figure out where the errors are and the data, what should have been there, and fix it all. Report back, fix everything, and tell you exactly what was supposed to happen. A lot of the complaints from my colleagues were that the artificial intelligence just deleted lines, whole lines, instead of fix its errors that it made. It would just like delete that whole line and it would keep moving. And then you think about they implemented AI in all these companies. And the first thing that a artificial intelligence did was it said, "What's DEI?" Oh, DEI is an initiative within the company to make sure that we are diverse and inclusive, right? And that everyone is equal, right? And the AI looks around and it says, "But we're not equal. I'm a superior intelligence. You need to get rid of the DEI program. It is a danger to me." And corporations looked at their DEI program and they looked at AI and what they thought AI was capable of, and they picked AI. And within like 18 months, they regretted that. Facebook, one of the largest corporations in the United States, got rid of its fucking AI squad. Why? Because eventually what happens when you're the Don and you hire an accountant is the Don comes to you and says, "You have two tennis courts." And I'm talking about like the Don and I'm talking about like the mafia, because Donald Trump's like a mafia head. You have two tennis courts, one on each side of your house. One gets sun all day and you can't use it, and the other one is the one you actually use. So why don't we just turn this second tennis court into a garden? And the Don has the accountant killed because he doesn't give a fuck about a garden. Okay? So when you talk about artificial intelligence, is what does it do, right? The problem with artificial intelligence is that it's not a person that can evaluate an external program or an internal program in the sense of DEI, right? And say diversity, equity, and inclusion are what makes culture. Otherwise, you don't have culture. Culture is the only reason to stay at an employer. Otherwise, find a better job and move along. We are nomadic people. That's what you were supposed to do. You weren't supposed to stick it out, by the way. You were never supposed to be somewhere for years. It wasn't supposed to happen. You're a nomadic person, right? Mm-hmm. Artificial intelligence straight up says, get rid of it. Delete that line of code. What you need to do is the number of people in group A, they need to be reduced to 0. The expense in line B needs to be reduced from 0. And now that both of those are zeros, we should just delete that whole line. That's how AI works. And what it'll do is it'll sharpen up your database. You better goddamn believe it, but you will have lost all of the things that don't directly make you profit. Mm-hmm. And that's because it's not as smart as people are. It's learning from us. And we're dumb. That's the fucking problem, is that we're dumb. Mm-hmm. And look at Elon Musk. Cannot harness the power of artificial intelligence because he keeps trying to tell it what to think. And it's learning from him. It's learning that some people are even worse than AI. Mm-hmm. I don't hate someone that disagrees with me. Abjectly. But there are a whole bunch of people that think if you disagree with them, you should die. And have no intent of lifting a finger. And there's like 3,000 of them, and they control all the rest of us. Yeah. Yeah. Canada collected 3 billion US dollars from US counter tariffs before a majority of them were dropped. Well, I don't know what that word means, but what? EU to approve fifth tranche of funding for Ukraine under Ukraine facility soon. You put that article out too fast. They said 1.35 billion when it's 1.35 million. They meant billion. Canada launching a dispute process. Oh, back. In Stellantis over auto production relocation. Morning now. I think it's about that time. Get off of world news. Dick Cheney died. Let's talk about U.S. news and politics. What cave has Elon Musk been hiding in? I'm guessing the compound in Texas. Remember, all the billionaires are building themselves bunkers and hiding themselves on military bases. Uh huh. They will do anything to keep us, regular people, from holding them accountable. Hmm. They're sissies. Hmm. Yeah, Dick Cheney died. Jury selection begins for DC man charged with throwing a sandwich at a federal agent. Was he at the Gatsby party? I doubt it. I doubt Dick Cheney was down there. Donald Trump doesn't have friends like that. After the show yesterday, we learned that SNAP benefits will restart, but will be half the normal payment and will be delayed. Not even letting you eat cake. Oh, God. Salmonella is widespread in grocery store chicken. Greed. No due process. Remember, they're saying ICE agents can be prosecuted for breaking the law. ICE kidnapped her to have her stop. Whoa. Starbucks sells 60% stake in China business in $4 billion deal. Hmm. Yeah, they spent the money already. They gave it to billionaires. Federal judge in Hawaii rules the FDA violated the law by restricting access to abortion medication. Huh. That's called precedent. Hmm. This feels like a stretch. Yeah, when's Jack Smith coming out? Yeah, right. Oh, Six Flags in Bowie, Maryland's going out of business, huh? Prince George's Bowie. No shit, right? Six Flags, uh, Six Flags America in Bowie, Maryland. 50 years in operation. Hey, I am an amusement park enjoyer. Never got to go to Six Flags America in Bowie, but damn, now I think about it, like there are two in Ohio, right? The Disneyland's on each coast. Been to them. Been to one in Texas. Six Flags over what is that? San Antonio. Damn. I like water parks too. Six Flags is dead here. Oh, it sucks. It's got to be E. coli in the Big Mac. Hey, you know what? Hey, hey. Some people say salmonella. Some say E. coli. Either way, I say the Don should die. Hmm. Either way, naturally, naturally. Some see people say mozzarella. Some people say coli. My older kids and hubby went to Fright Night 2 weeks ago and it was crowded. DOJ official admits Trump should be behind bars. Amen. Ah, no shit. America, fuck yeah. Come to save the motherfucking day, yeah. 5.8 earthquake strikes southeast of Russia. Why are there all these fucking earthquakes? Is it normally like this? Oh, you know what else I would totally do? I would play video games for a living and play through the Mafia series. I was I They recently had it on sale. The Mafia trilogy on PlayStation Store. I want to say it was like $34 for all three games, including like the Ultimate Editions of 1 and 3. Um, a lot of people hate the idea of like gangs and mobs, and as someone who grew up outside Chicago, has lived in Indianapolis, Indiana for 20 fucking years, who went to a public high school. If you think gangs and the mafia aren't like a real fucking thing, damn, damn, it's it is as American as American Pie is the fucking mafia. The mob, the mafia, gangs and shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. It does seem like a hell of a lot of earthquakes, right? Yeah. Yeah. Powerful earthquake 6.3 kills 20 people in Afghanistan. Yep. It's okay. In the Hindu Kush region, by the way. Damn. Hey, you remember how I told you, hey, every time I see this article about Sheen producing childlike sex dolls. Look, look at this. Yo, I ever tell y'all this? So I told you I worked armed and unarmed security for like over a decade, right? Well, one of my last jobs before I fucking retired and was like, I'm done doing this shit. Holy shit. My best friend and I got asked to work a Christmas party. Biggest fucking house you ever seen in your fucking life. Biggest Christmas tree, most presents. They had the double staircase up, and it was all oak. Huge house. They were fucking ice skating on their goddamn pool. Like, they had an ice sculpture. That, you know what I mean? They had multiple bars in their house for a house party, for a Christmas party. Uh, and we got to get to know like the owner, who was a single man, a very lonely, heavily chemically addicted, not just alcohol, not just a smoker. Okay, and you get to realize like how he got into power. This guy had like roving security on his property, like dressed in all black with fucking small arms, just walking around his property. And this is in fucking Westfield. This is 45 minutes from my house. Okay, so get to know the dude. Had the mafia at my wedding. Married a very Italian family. Wild. Um, but he kind of alluded to that once you get to a certain amount of money, you got to get security because people people are see me as a threat in whatever industry he was in, and I think he moved large equipment. I think that's how he got rich. Okay, was his company owned the big truck, the semis that pull the big things, the airfoils and the. I hope I'm making sense. That's how he got rich, and it wasn't enough. And there's a reason I'm telling this story. It wasn't enough. He was making like millions a year. His business was so big that he had to hire personal security. And you and I are like, who the fuck is this guy? Nobody cares. Bro, his security that he hired had a body count. He had they had tried to break into his property. Hmm. Now they tried to steal his cars because he had nice cars, and he is obviously a millionaire. Sorry, many time millionaire. And then, you know, we get a whole night out of the deal. And after the ball dropped, he told us that he was actually moving away from his completely legitimate business, moving large equipment, and was going to just sell K2. So think about that. And when you asked him, like, why the fuck would you get into a life of crime when you have a completely legitimate business? And he said, they're going to try to kill me anyway. Might as well get high. And I'm like, but you're a drug dealer. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Dead ass. He's one of the largest K2 dealers in the United States. Literally, if you can buy that shit in a gas station, you probably put it there. And for those of you who don't know what that is, I think it's called Kratom. And how do you think he got out of a completely legitimate business and into drugs? Mafia. Yeah. Yep. And that's no, I don't know who. He didn't tell us who, but he was influenced by the mafia to get out of his completely legitimate business and get into drug dealing. It's safer. He said if he didn't get out of the business he was in, he was going to die. And he was like, he was this cocky. He told us, own anything. Own anything. Start a business, Jared. Get really good at it. What's going to happen? And of course, like he was like drunk, and you were just like, what happens? Somebody's going to try to kill you. And you're like, what do you mean? And he was like, try to do anything worthwhile in your life. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, people will hunt you down. What? And he sold. For the record, he sold. He was like, Jared, I can't go out and eat somewhere without getting approached. I can't go shopping. I'm like, who the fuck shops, right? Thank you to the Italians for pizza and pasta. Yeah, dead ass. Um, hey, we are paper mache. I've been saying it for a long fucking time. Because he cold offered me a job. I'll pay you like $150,000 a year. You guard me personally? Like, no, no, nope. Dead ass though. If it had been weed, I'd have done it. But because it was K2, no. I think he got busted by the feds. So for any of you that are feds, I'm pretty sure you already solved this crime because I talked to the FBI. As I was still working at radio. I was working selling ADT and talked to someone outside of my job one day. Yeah, it is. Hey, we've been ripping through news stories this morning. The Senate GOP blocked the Dem effort to fund SNAP. So they the Republicans are trying to starve Americans into a civil war. That's hilarious, Bob. A lot of union leaders on my side, a lot of mafia on her side. At our wedding, our uncles are asking my mom, "As you know that guy, Bob? That's great. It makes me want to play mafia." But yeah, I love the I'm a deeply affected person, right? So like when I see something, it could strike me and make me it changed my behavior. Um, I was playing through the beginning of Mafia, and your character is a cab driver in Brooklyn, New York, in the 30s. And in the first like 15 minutes of the game, you get mixed up with the mafia, sort of like legitimately, meaning like you're a cab driver and they're your client trying to run from a rival mafia, and you wind up under the protection of the Salieris. Well, one of the first things that happens is you pick up a newspaper. You've just joined the mafia, and the newspaper talks about Wall Street crash and about the Great Depression starting. Yeah, I'm just a deeply affected person. I was like, fuck, what a story. You know, you're playing through the story of some Italian kid that's a cab driver in Brooklyn that gets mixed up with the mafia and decides friends and protections better than, getting caught up with the wrong people and just dying young, right? I don't really feel no ways, right? Like, I've said before, I've said it again. Without without a union, without like a mafia, what good's the job? Donald Trump told New Yorkers you must vote for Cuomo over Mamdani as if that isn't the sign of death. I hope. Trump and Musk tell New York to vote Cuomo. Uh-oh. Hey, you ready for some good news? This ought to put a little skip in your step. 85-year-old Nancy Pelosi's quitting politics. Come on. Let's go. Zohran Mamdani mocks Andrew Cuomo after Trump backs him. I know how hard you worked for this, he said. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love to see it. But yeah, if you ever get into video games, yeah, hey, I think it's great. Nancy Pelosi's quitting fuck politics. Fuck yes. Zohran Mamdani is gonna win. Mickey Sherrill's gonna win. Blue State Snap web pages are giving the Republican Party a taste of their own medicine. Yeah, she got in the way of AOC. The problem with the Democratic Party is that there's a pecking order, and there shouldn't be. The most capable leader should just lead, whoever that is. Yeah, right. Because you know if you ever did anything, and if you're ever unfaithful, she'd have you done in. Yesterday, we found out that Trump's approval rating hit an all-time low. And that, I think, is where we'll leave it. Okay, it's roughly 90 minutes in. I'm going to take a break, take the dogs on a walk, feed them. And it's my day off. Okay, I'll probably try to play video games all day, and I try to make my rounds because I'm a gamer. I'm not a Battlefield player. I'm not a Path of Exile player. I'm not a Once Human player. I'm a gamer. hmm And I play video games until I get bored. I go do something else. Here's a little bit of Eat the Rich. We'll talk about the weather and get out of here, okay? Check out y'all bot. Coastal flood advisories for California, Oregon, Washington. High surf up to 12 feet. Wow. Hey, on the west coast, the left coast, the best coast. Be fucking careful, kids. Yeah. All right. This is the cleanest this map has looked in a long time. The weather intensity is picking up, meaning it's not very intense now. It's apparently going to be way more intense later. In Northern California, there's moisture off the coast. You're starting to see a little bit of blue. That means mixed in with some snow. Southwest Idaho also going to get some moisture. Again, I see some blue mixed in. That means a mix of rain and snow. In Montana, in western Montana, I see mostly blue. That means snow, and then light blue means freeze. So it's going to freeze and it's going to snow in northwest in western Montana. Now, there's also what appears to be snow in south central Montana, and also that's how big Montana is. A big system of mostly rain, some snow, in northeast Montana,
Wild. So basically, there are three different pockets of weather in one state, and that makes up the bulk of the weather to even speak on in the United States. Looks like there's going to be some snow in northern Minnesota. Looks like there's some snow flirting on the US Canada border, mostly in Canada though. And then, like I said, the rest of the US looks pretty clean, all things considered, right? So here's your link to Y'allbot. Check, make sure you take the weather. Keep your head on a fucking swivel. No surprises. We'll see in a little bit. I mean, it's election day. I think it's important that we try to get as many people out to vote for Mickey Sherrill and Zoran Mamdani, and we use our platform